I really hate the Super Bowl. This goes all the way back from my childhood. This happened back in 2005. And before you ask, I really don't remember who was playing at that time. I'm pretty sure that most of you who are listening to this are going to probably look up to see what football team were going against each other back in that time. But I don't even want to look up nothing about the Super Bowl, because when I think about it, it takes me back to that traumatic experience. Like I said, this happened in 2005. My entire family were getting together to have a Super Bowl party while watching the Super Bowl. But there was one family member that we were not too fond of. It was my uncle on my sister's side of the family. He just got out of jail for armed robbery and attempted murder. He had served 20 years in prison. He went to jail when he was 19, and now he is out, and he's 39, pushing 40. But anyway, the thing about my uncle is he has a bit of a temper. That's what my mother told me. You really can't even talk to him much about anything without something setting him off. He's very volatile. That's what makes it really uncomfortable to be around him. But one day during the Super Bowl, my mother offered to invite him over to our house, even though a bunch of the family members were against it. But my mother wanted to be nice, and since he got out of jail, she figured that maybe him spending time with family would help him get back in the swing of being on the outside again. Fast forward, the Super Bowl began. Everyone was cheering for their own team. My uncle, on the other hand, was not even looking at the Super Bowl. Instead, he was drinking. And he was drinking a whole lot. His drinking was getting bad to the point several of the family members noticed. And my father came up to him and told him, "Hey, look, you're gonna have to tone down the drinking a little bit. I mean, we do got kids here, and you're kinda, scaring them a little bit. And a few of the family members, including your sister, is a little bit concerned. And I'm a little bit concerned for you as well. So, I think for right now for you, I think that's gonna be enough alcohol. So I'm just gonna take the bottle away from you so we can..." And before my father can finish his sentence, my uncle grabbed the beer bottle that he had on the table and smashed it on my father's head and told him,
"What the fuck you think is your problem? Huh? You think you my fucking father? I fucking drink if I fucking want to, fucking bitch!"
After that, many of us kids began to cry, as the women in the household were scared as well. A bunch of the male relatives came up to my uncle and grabbed him, holding him down so he won't try to do anything. Then eventually they grabbed him and lifted him up and tossed him outside. One of them even said, "Get the fuck out of here and don't even think about coming back." After that, everyone went over to my father to see if he was okay. And luckily he was. He may have only had about a few cuts and bruises, but he was alright. But my mother didn't want to take any chances, so she took him to the hospital just to make sure he didn't have any concussions. And luckily, everything was alright with him. He was fine. He was able to finish watching the Super Bowl, and he was happy that his team won. But I don't think I can fully get over what I witnessed. My uncle, out of nowhere, just got completely violent. It scared me and the other kids at that time. Since then, all my family members cut ties with my uncle. And I honestly don't want anything to do with him. I know it may not seem like it was too bad, but if you had been there, the atmosphere just felt volatile. To think that my uncle would just jump up and do something that horrific to my father. I could have easily lost him that day. But I'm doing okay now, and my father was okay as well. He never had a head concussion. I was grateful, and I'm glad my father was okay. The Super Bowls that followed, it never felt the same. Every time the Super Bowl season would come around, I think about what my uncle did. I never want to see him again. He almost killed my father, and I just can't and won't ever celebrate Super Bowl.